Yeah.
All right. Welcome back. This is a new year for Let's Talk Sublime podcast. I'm Rich. That's Kev. We're both co-hosts. Happy New Year. What's going on, Kev? Talk to me.
All right, man. Just getting back into it, taking some
Mm-hmm.
swings,
Mm-hmm.
and wanted to. We got sidetracked a little bit, but it's all about repetition and routine and staying with it. So, want to start with technology, and
Got
we
it.
we had a good cast last time that you know. We'll touch on a few things from there, but anyway, technology. Some of the advances happening right now in traditional finance, the world of tokenization.
Wow.
It's moving so quick, right? That
Amazing.
if you don't keep up in traditional finance, just in general in business, you're going to get hit with a major asteroid. Okay, things are moving quick, and if you don't start paying attention, you're going to be surprised. Some of it's AI, some of it's tokenization, but the way we do transactions and how things are tracked and kept track of is seeing huge advancements. And think about it. We used to have the phone system, right? You make a phone call. It used to cost $5 to call to a different country, Europe,
You
right?
need you need a calling card, remember?
Correct. It was
Yeah.
expensive. Now
Yeah.
it's practically nothing.
Free.
Same thing is happening in finance, where the cost is going down because technology is increasing.
Interesting.
And that's going to continue to happen. There'll be other ways for these traditional firms and banks to make money. That will always be the case, but technology is moving so quick, and that's just one area it affects. It affects all of business. You name it, from top to bottom, these changes are happening, and I don't care who you are. There's no way you could keep up with all of it. Um, it affects, like I said, from top to bottom. So think about call centers, right?
Yeah.
They'll be manned, right, or womaned, and someone I got that from somebody. They were talking about that recently, and you know, um, so you'll still have people there, but you're gonna have some AI, you're gonna have some robots, some computers. It's gonna be faster. All right,
So so are you
go
saying
ahead.
that Kev, you foresee that there's gonna have AI in call centers? There goes telemarketers. I mean, at that point, right? There
Yeah.
goes cold callers, right?
No, I mean, there's still going to be a need for people, but things are going
Right.
to be
That's what
more
I'm
efficient. For instance, you don't need support.
saying.
If you meaning you don't need as much, right? Um, and sometimes it's unnecessary. If a business has a certain number of people, you don't need access, right? You
No.
trim. It's all about profits. Why would you have an extra person? It's about profit. So, um, yeah, I think access, some of that's removed. Cutting the fat. We're seeing that happen. I think in government, we'll get to it. Politics, good things are happening. A lot of bullshit cutting through that, and it's an exciting time.
Yeah,
Before we get
I
there,
agree. I agree.
before we get there, um, we talk about tokenization, but um, is crypto. We talk about it, Bitcoin. We're gonna have a strategic reserve, possibly.
All
It's
right.
possible that we have owned Bitcoin as a country, other countries as well. And if that happens, that's that's a big advancement. It's being embraced. There was a
Yeah.
crypto ball recently. Guess who was there?
Cool.
Snoop Dogg, David Sachs,
Hmm.
Sailor. You know, you had big names, Trump's, kids, maybe possibly even him, huge names at this ball. So it's being embraced, and the future is changing. I think it could be an $18 trillion asset. Replace gold, not replace it, but reach it. Right now, if
Reach it.
I had gold, would I trade it for Bitcoin? And the answer is yes, based on the price of where it is. Gold's done well. I would trade it. And then big companies, Meta, Amazon, we're probably a year or two away from them holding it on their balance sheet. Tesla already does it,
Right.
but where custody is more efficient for accounting purposes. Because the way it is right now, if Tesla, it's not favorable for the company. If they sell something, I believe they the balance sheet, it's not in the favor. It's not as transferable as it should be. But that will pick up. Technology will pick up, and I think you'll see more companies owning Bitcoin on the balance sheet.
Kev, real quick, you know what needs to happen? You just need an innovative accountant, really, to come through and like create a new accounting for
Yeah,
digital assets,
yeah,
right?
there'll be
Right,
technology, sort of
right.
stable coin, being built. Um, and I think you need big banks to embrace it, and they will.
You
Meta
need
was doing it, and they you know what? It got slowed up because of too much regulation. They had a company that they built that got slowed up. They it was the previous administration that sort of threw a lot of shit at it, and you know they would. I think they viewed it wrong. They viewed it as Meta was trying to own a bank. They weren't. They were trying to advance technology. Um, so I think we'll see that Microsoft, Amazon, these companies are going towards that. We're seeing something happen now, and we'll get to it in a minute. But these companies are moving together for the first time in a long time. You have
right.
big tech, big
Yep,
names coming
yep,
together. We've never seen that cohesion happening in a while, right?
yep, yep.
What brings companies together? Challenges. You go through a tough period,
And money,
triumph, money
money,
too,
money.
but especially being annoyed and going through a tough period of time where maybe things weren't moving as quick as they should. Maybe it felt like you had weights on you. Where I think you have this change happening that's occurring. In terms of anything, we talked about the new year. Is there anything you would change? If, you make your resolutions for the new year. Um, I wouldn't change a thing.
Mhm.
2024 in politics and business, I think it was a drag year. 2025 is gonna be a good year, okay, for
Yep,
everyone.
yep.
Um,
Yeah, it
and
feels that way. Yeah, it
yeah,
does.
but so lessons. I still wouldn't change, a thing, but I think. Go ahead.
Can I interject here?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, you want to talk about 2024 being a drag year. Kev, you heard what Biden did this morning? Did you see who he pardoned?
yeah. Pardon
Can you?
himself, and we'll get
No,
to why and
no, not
how.
even himself. Not even himself. You heard Dr. Fauci. He
Yeah,
pardoned
yeah,
Dr.
yeah.
Kev. What the
Well,
fuck? Yo, and his
yeah.
family, dude. You want to talk about drag year, bro? It was a drag 4 years.
Because
Totally right.
I think some yeah,
Jesus,
yeah, yeah, and we'll get to that when we go, in a minute. I think
you
yeah,
got to
he's
be
trying to
smart. I can't
yeah,
believe
well
you
listen.
you
Here's the
pardoned someone who got
problem. Here's the problem with everything.
Jesus.
Accountability. Now I agree, maybe certain things are put in place where okay, uh, you know, if you gotta have certain things to protect certain people but I think there were a lot of problems that happened in the past. Um, Certain things where they know now, and they're like, "Oh shit," you
Yeah,
know.
but that's not how the
Trump's,
law works, Kev. I mean, like, you're gonna
yeah,
pardon someone like that, Kev? That's embarrassing, bro. That just showed
yeah.
like Jesus, bro. You don't yo. They say he pardoned him while he was in the car, last minute, just last
Listen,
minute.
we're in a period right now, right, where you have lawfare happening.
Yeah, yeah,
You're a lawyer, you know this.
yeah.
People go after people in court, and I think it was abused by the other side. I think they
Absolutely.
went after a lot of people, and I think they realized that is, not a secret. It's on notice that there was a lot of bullshit and they're trying to protect themselves because they were during that period they were in charge. But
I know, but what is it? Kev, but what is the perception? I mean, what do you think that makes him
the,
look? I mean, to
I
like,
think I I think
like,
he
come on,
doesn't.
bro.
I think he's
Doesn't
not
care.
looking at it like that.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not looking at it like that. He's looking at it as um,
He doesn't
you
care.
know, there's going to be I think there's going to be a big change where accountability is a real thing. We don't have that right now. We
No,
don't.
not for the top. No,
And
not
I'll
for the
tell
top.
you,
Yeah, not for
we
the
don't
top.
have it. We don't have it all over the place. And the reason
Yeah,
is
you're right.
there's so
Yeah.
many freaking groups. When you have separation, okay, that allows
Hmm.
someone to pass the buck. When you have all these different groups, DEA programs, they all got thrown out recently. A lot of big companies did it, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Why did they do it? Because
I
some of
never
that stuff
understood.
was put in place after the protest and after COVID, and it was put in place to ease people. Anytime something happens, and we talked about this, the government comes in, and this was the previous administration, and they do something to ease people, whether it's stimulus or whether it's program, but it didn't make sense. Why have more groups at companies? Meaning, why make hiring equal across the board? Why not hire the best suitor? Because if you're a company, it's about the bottom line. So I think we're going back to a new period where some of that bullshit gets cut out. And I think having too many groups is not a good thing. You got to cut out the fucking, I don't mean to curse, but you got to cut out the middle. You got to, less is more.
Right, less
You
and
know what I'm
more.
saying?
Less and more. Yeah,
Yeah.
less and more.
Because otherwise you pass it to the group. It wasn't me. It was that lunch table. It wasn't the person at it. It was that, if we're going to be a town hall and move to a free speech, like Musk wants to do, you got to call people out, to a certain extent. And you got to take ownership, some of it, when things are wrong. Is that going to happen? I don't know. We'll see. But I think that's where they're going towards.
Now, Kev, you want to talk about
Martin Luther King, talk about
yeah,
that.
today, yeah, Martin Luther King today. Yeah,
Yeah. Now, what did he do? He brought people together. He said, "Hey,
yeah,
look, let's let's make blacks part of the democracy,
civil rights.
and yeah, and we could all be viewed as one, and we could hold up whole responsibility." He was a uniter. Okay, that's what Trump's going to be, I believe.
Which Trump shot it out today in this inauguration speech, which is pretty
Yeah,
cool. You know, he
yeah,
mentioned it. It was pretty cool.
he did.
Um,
He did.
he did.
But that
Yeah,
was a period of that was I think he sees a similarity in the period. That was a period of unrest among people that we've seen previous 4 years, right? With think about the protests and COVID and all this stuff. You had so much divide, and guess what? People benefit from that.
certain group.
Some people, certain people. It's not a
Yeah.
good thing. I think that those what's wrong with this place, with this country is you got to limit that when you're benefiting from unrest and creating controversy because you're trying to do whatever, you got to call that out, right?
I agree.
So yeah, I think we're going towards that period, and the idea is to move people towards the center. So he's got these big companies getting on board, and I'm
Yeah,
shocked to see. I'm not shocked, but the turnout, he got them all.
I know.
Think
I know.
about who was there today: Amazon, Meta,
You saw Zuckerberg trying to get back on his
huge,
good side, right?
huge.
Yeah,
I think he's on board. I think when he got Dana White joining the board, okay, Zuckerberg is the biggest,
I
one
know.
of the biggest influences. If he
I know.
starts moving towards free speech, that changes everything. So getting him on board was that big piece. And then he got Bezos to come in, that's closer to him. Bezos still calls shots at Amazon. It's not running day to day, still his company. He still owns a lot of stock and, he pulls strings. So you're getting these big guys to come on board that have huge, sort of responsibilities. And I think, Zuckerberg is somebody, if you think about it, he takes accountability. there was a teenage suicide
Mm-hmm.
at Meta that happened a while ago. He
Interesting.
stood up and he said, "Hey, took accountability. Said, okay, this is wrong, blah blah, and faced it. So he's done a lot of things right. You got to face mistakes. Mistakes happen. You don't
I
hide
mean,
from it. So
I mean, Zuckerberg also did a lot of things wrong. Remember, he admitted that he censored a lot of speech during COVID because the government told
yeah,
him
but
to.
he was saying the government told him to. So now he's
Yeah,
getting on board with the other
right, but
side.
I know, but like I said, he's going where the wind blows, because he was under Trump supporter. You know what I
No,
mean? He
but he's a
wasn't a
big
loyalist.
piece. He's a
He's a
big
he's a
piece.
big piece. He's a big piece. But I'm
You
saying, you
get
know what I mean?
him. Hold on. You get him. You get Apple. You get Tim Cook. You get Sergio Bing at Google. So I think Zuckerberg was the first piece. After you had, yeah, I think he was the first big piece to come over. Where
Uh,
he recently from that side because he did the Dana White thing, and then they got rid of DEI programs. So
yeah, but I mean, look, like I said, they're cozying up to the new boss. Meet the new boss. That's what it
that's what
is.
you want. That's what you want.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying
No,
that's what's happening.
yeah, but it's happening in sweeping fashion, and
Yep.
that's what you need to happen. That's what you need to happen. Now, what you just said, I agree with in terms of Biden
Yeah.
and Kamala going today and sitting there. I believe that's what they were doing. Code, you gotta do it, right? But
Yeah.
I actually think big tech wants to be involved. Why? Because you got Elon Musk, you have Vivek, you got smart people on this around this core. And why would they want more regulations? These companies doesn't help them. They get on board because that was where things were. You weren't going to switch it, right? They had to adopt these. They were on that side, but moving towards the center, I think there's many reasons why the pendulum shifts. Elon Musk is a big piece. Once X goes towards the center, Meta now has to adapt and adjust because guess what happened next? TikTok.
Yep.
Elon showed interest.
Hmm.
So if Elon buys TikTok, guess what happens? I don't think he
I thought
will.
Kev O'Leary. I thought Kev O'Leary did it, right? Who's right? I don't know the.
Cavalieri said it first,
Right, right,
but
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but Elon showed interest. I don't think Elon would because that would push
That's a lot,
Zuckerberg
right?
at it. That would push
Yeah,
Zuckerberg away.
yeah,
That would be that would make them a huge player, which they
yeah.
are a huge player, but that would really threaten Instagram and their market share. You know, so because you would have X and you would have TikTok.
I
So
know.
so
Yeah,
but that might have been some of these headlines of TikTok possibly being sold. Maybe he cozied in a little bit, but I do think that Unison's good. And he's got celebrities too. You know, big name celebrities like Stallone. That he has representing. Um, so I think we're entering a different period, a golden age where
So,
people are
so Kev,
excited.
Kev, I gotta say, this is the biggest political realignment since like 1980. Somebody said
Yep.
it's his Reagan. It's like the
It
biggest
might have been the
shift.
most important ever. We talked about it,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if we ever got that one up, but we talked about how important that election was, and if if it didn't go that way,
Yeah, oh
you
man,
know, things would be different. So the fact that
yeah.
it did, and in sweeping fashion, is
Landslide,
huge,
landslide,
huge.
landslide.
You know,
So,
go ahead.
Lance, no, no, you were saying, Kev, I want a comment. You were talking about the DEI nonsense, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's
You
great.
thought,
Here's why. Smaller government is better. Smaller, less. If you
I know,
make the government smaller, it means it's better for companies, better for the economy. If you think about it, the White House, right? That fence in Washington keeps moving back. That's called bigger government. And
yeah,
it's not just it's not just fence, but it just keeps moving back where it gets bigger and it pushes people further away, right?
yeah,
You said it the other day. We are the media, the people speaking.
yeah,
That is the
right,
best form of news. And the
That's the
closer you
biggest
are,
shift. That's one of the
biggest
biggest
shift.
shifts that happened, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And the
that's what happened.
closer you are
Right.
to people, the better. The bigger the government, the further away you are. So I think, yeah, less
Listen,
regulation is good.
this is what Thomas Jefferson said. He hated big government. Remember, back in the day, he was about small government. You know, he was like,
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson, the founding father.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of them were. Most of them were like that. Kev,
Yeah.
listen, you were saying
Go ahead.
no, you were saying
So,
You
so,
remember the
so,
smaller
so,
government,
yeah,
which is
smaller
traditionally
government
Republican.
is good. It's less
That's Republican.
regulation.
That's
Here's what Trump
traditionally
wants to do.
Republican.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are the founding. Most of the founding fathers believed in that,
Yep,
and laissez-faire, right? Leave it up to the state, hands off. So
state
what
only.
he wants to do, I think, is unite people for the first time. He sees all the bullshit thrown at him. I mean, a lot of
Horrible,
lawfare happening,
horrible.
and I think he's going to secure the borders. We talked about that. That's a big thing. All
That's
these
one of his
people that came here, they're freaking creating mayhem. That's going to be a main thing. You
lighting
got to
people on
get them out.
fire. Fucking
Yeah,
dude,
lighting
that's
people on
crazy.
fire.
Imagine taking the subway today.
Just
Like I don't need
safety.
to do it, but
Yeah.
I know. But
No,
imagine,
listen,
bro.
the subway was worse, I think after COVID. Nowadays, yeah, the crimes are just getting more heinous.
Right, right,
And
right.
I think these
But
people come in here and
they're
they
mentally ill. That's what I
yes,
would say. Right?
that's
Yeah,
another problem. The mentally ill. You got to take care of them because they become a hazard.
yeah. But
And
you're
they
gonna take care
could
of.
also go ahead.
Yeah, but they're not citizens, Kev. Like you know what I mean? That's the problem, right?
No. You got to seal up the borders. But
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
for the people that are here, it's up to the cities most likely to clean up the mentally ill because they become a hazard. Also, you know, yeah, you got to get them inside. Can't be
right.
outside. Bad things happen.
Just
Um, and you're seeing that. So, um,
listen.
he
That
wants
brings
to clean up
go on.
corruption. That's going to be the other big thing.
Now
Huge.
now, Kev, with corruption, I think it. We should shed some light on California. Kev,
Yep.
California is still burning, right?
Yep.
Still burning.
Yeah. Well, that's different. But that is mismanagement.
And
Okay.
DEI and DEI.
I don't think it's I think it's mismanagement, bad leadership, and
No, no, no.
I think
The
they did a
fire.
horrible job
Yep.
of taking care of issues. They
So
just never did what they should have done. If you burn land, it reduces fire 60%.
and
Okay,
that's what
they
Trump
never
said
did
in
that.
2019. That's what Trump
Yeah,
said
so
in
Trump
2019.
points
Remember,
out a
he
lot
said
of
that.
good stuff.
In
Yeah,
2019.
so
Remember? By the way, Kev, listen, the fire chief is LGBTQ. She was hired on DEI.
hold
That's
on.
why I brought it up in
Now,
Los Angeles.
yeah. Okay.
So it was. That's
So,
why I bring it up. It's
so
crazy.
I think the DEI, getting rid of DEI, isn't about a specific group. It's about people coming together. Why have separate groups? Have a big
I know.
group, right?
Right.
Think
Yeah.
about it. If you could go back to high school, right? You got all these different lunch tables. Everyone sit at one, and you get along better. Things work better. When you're all separated, people could come along and add more division.
Yep.
But I think California mismanagement. How do you run out of water, right? I mean, you know,
so
but
so
but
so Kev,
but
check this out.
with the corruption, that's more with like lawfare, court system being sort of
How do you run out of
accountable.
water? How do you run out of water? That's funny.
Yeah, I
Kev,
mean,
Kev,
I think he's
how
gonna
do you
get
run
thrown
out of
out.
water?
He's
Oh,
out.
oh yeah. Yo, he
And,
doesn't know
and
it.
here's the
He
thing.
doesn't.
Here's the thing about California. I actually think that when all
Mm,
that settles, when the dust settles, and people look,
mhm, mhm.
they'll see that the leadership failed, and they'll see that um, you might get some people in the center that might that were maybe on the fence might realize that some of these things are ridiculous. This guy is just continuing to pass laws that
Horrible,
don't
dude.
make sense.
Horrible. He doesn't know it. I mean,
So you're focused on dumb bullshit laws about things that aren't very relevant, and you're not taking care of major problems.
Or
You know,
unbelievable. It's still burning,
and,
Kev. Like that's
yeah,
yo, listen, just real quick. Can you see the screen? Look what I pulled up. They made DEI one of the fire chief made DEI one of the top priorities, and
there
that's
you
probably why
go.
they
So
got
it's
no
the
water.
opposite. It's the opposite.
That's why they got no water.
But that's probably a long time ago, no? 2020.
No, no. Look,
No, that's an
2025.
article now, but when they did that, that's probably a long time ago
When
when
she
they
was
made it. These
when
DEI started, they started after the protest, and certain states probably like California went harder, but yeah, they're obviously the full opposite.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
Kev, how do you not have water? Kev, and I just want to say, look, man, I get that these people, there's people that can afford it in California, but there was one story. Now, check this out. Tell me what you think. This is a middle class family, right? So this is really heartbroken. Check this out. They had a daughter, right? Their daughter died from like a defect, right? And the daughter was, they had the ashes in an urn, and that was gone.
mhm,
That's
okay,
something you can't
yeah. So
replace.
there's things that are
I, I,
irreplaceable.
I mean,
You know,
don't you think?
yeah.
Kev, don't you think he should? He really thinks he's going to be a 2028 contender. I
No,
mean,
I don't
this
think
is
so.
what I'm saying. He really thinks so. He
Well,
believes it.
yeah. But you got to understand accountability. So, that place was a disaster,
Disaster.
regardless of that. Regardless of that. But I think I think actually it will further bring people together
Right.
because
Yeah.
the people that were leaning that way but not fully that way actually might rethink that. You might get people moving, to other areas, right? I
Well,
mean, think about it. It's going to take 5 to 10 years when something like that happens. You're talking about a long time to rebuild.
it's still burning.
Um, yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying some people might not want to, you know, wait that long. They might, go somewhere else.
So Vinny from the from PVD podcast, he said like, yo, bro, listen, um, Californians will still keep Gavin. 85%. He was being funny. He's like, yo, man,
Well,
that's what
I
he
think
said.
I think they signed a petition, you know, big number that they want to replace.
Recall.
Um, they want to replace the mayor,
Yeah.
or
She
is
was
yeah,
she was a DEI
I,
hire too, elected
yeah,
apparently.
yeah,
California was the home
yeah.
of it. It was the nest.
And listen, there's nothing
That's,
wrong with
I know.
equal and but
I
the problem is we're in a place that rewards the best person. If you're a business, I think it's more important with the business level than anything. But
Right.
in the government level,
Mm.
I guess it's
Well,
important too. Trump is going to do things he said today that
yeah.
make sense. No more work from home, right? People got to come back to the office slowly. Here's why that's important. Okay, when people are working from home, guess what you got?
Mm.
You got also people in their kitchen. Things aren't controlled as if
Yeah.
you're in a government office.
No, Kev, I don't agree with that.
Wow. How?
I work longer when I'm at home.
Oh, no,
I
no,
do.
no. I'm not talking about how hard you work. I'm talking about if you are somebody like Trump, would you rather people come into the office or work from home? If they're handling sensitive information.
Yeah, okay, that's sensitive information. I got that, but certain tasks you do not need to be in the office. You
No,
just,
it's not about that. I think it's more about he's trying to eliminate the leaks, the corruption that
well,
takes
then that's
place.
different. Okay, that's different.
Yeah. And
That's a different thing.
that's what the move is
That
about.
well,
If I
you
run
see,
an office, if I run a business and I know something's not right or I'm trying to make things smoother, I'm going to bring people back. You got people got to work together. If you're in an office, guess what? It's controlled. You know who comes and goes. You can't have some freaking, somebody trying to, when somebody's at home, you don't know. People could get, compromised. You never know. It's
that's true.
easier when people aren't together. When people are together, you're in a controlled environment. So I think he's placing certain things to say, hey, enough of the bullshit. We're bringing things. how they should be,
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, but here's the thing. All
and getting
contractors
out
that
of the COVID era.
well, look, so all contractors they normally are remote, like you know what I mean, because it's a time thing, you know. You're talking about people with security clearances. That's different.
Yes,
I mean, yeah,
I'm
okay,
talking
that's
about
different.
certain people that are
Yeah, that's different.
oh, he's working with,
That's
why
different.
why
Yeah,
should he be working from home? You know,
that's different.
in
If you
this
got a
in
security
this
clearance, I
day
get
and
that. Yeah,
age, you need things controlled.
yeah. That you know,
I do think it's good for all. Certain people got to work from home. If I
not
get
all
that,
the
but
time, not all the time. I'm just saying, you know, it does. You know, when you got a family, you got shit to do. You know, like I stay up all night. You know, I actually put more time in. You know, when I'm at home. That's you know, and that's what I've seen. You know, but my shit is all reading, so you know what I mean. I don't have a security clearance, so you know,
yeah, yeah,
I don't handle sensitive. It's all legal. Everything's public what I handle. You know what I mean.
hmm
But yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I get it, bro. CIA officers should not be working at home. I agree.
No, just
But yeah,
anyone that's handling sensitive stuff or that is in a position of power.
yeah.
If you're working from home, it's much easier to be compromised, right? Because how do people get compromised? You know, someone might send in some flowers, overhear a conversation, and hold it over them. You
Or
never
you get
know.
hacked. Or you get hacked.
Yeah, that's another thing. But when you're in an office, there's controls in place, and it's harder for certain things to happen. So if you're trying to drain, some of the water, and you're trying to make it, you know, things functioning in which he is, I think certain rules are good.
Yeah.
So those are two things that he's going to focus, I think, on and bringing inflation down. And yeah, you talked about Biden,
Hmm.
that he covered himself. Some people. What
He covered
about
his whole
Trump?
family. Kev, he covered
What
his whole
about
family.
what about Trump saying, "Hey, I'm going to pardon, this amount of people"? It speaks to the level of bullshit that
Yeah.
probably, alluded to in the past that was
There's enough.
thrown at him.
I know, but there's enough. There's enough. You know, monologues out there where you heard Biden literally say, "I would never pardon my family. I believe in the rule of law." I'm just saying, this makes him look like a hypocrite, Kev, for him to do that. You
Correct,
know, I mean,
correct.
you know,
But
like
he
flat
also
out.
thought he was going to win. I mean, he thought Kamala was going to win, so he wouldn't have to, right?
Yeah, I
He's
know,
doing it
but
after he lost.
yeah, I know, but he did say, "I follow the rule of." I mean, you know, it's just when you look at the monologues that people have cut up, Kev, dude, Biden might go down as the worst president in modern history. What do you think? What do you think?
I
I think so.
I, I think Trump did more in before he even got in office in a day or two
No,
than Biden did in 4 years.
exactly. But don't you think he would go down when the scholars like review like 20 years from now? He might be right. Biden's 4 years might have been associated with a lot of negativity this
Yeah,
country,
yeah, yeah.
right? Like
Listen,
really bad.
he's yeah,
The
yeah.
lie.
I mean, anyone
There,
that speaks and you fall asleep,
that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
That's what I'm saying.
that's why there's a different level of excitement now, where people
Right.
went through that and they're like, all right, let's go. Let's do better for business. Let's get shit done. And one thing that Trump's good at, okay?
Mm, yeah.
If you are if you want a negotiation to take place, who do you want there at the table?
Yep.
That's the guy you want, right?
Yep. Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
He gets it. So
He's always
um,
got it. They just never gave him a
he's
chance.
always got it. But I think
They
he's
never gave him a
probably,
chance.
when it comes to that, I think that's one of his strengths is
But nobody.
negotiating.
But Kev, like as we segue into Trump's
And
inaugural.
if you're going against some of these leaders, think about some of these places, right? These other
Yeah.
countries. You gotta be that. You gotta have that. So
I mean, Kev, remember what he did? He tried to make peace with North Korea, and do you know it was his own national security advisor that stabbed him in the back, John Bolton. You know, he was about to make first time with North Korea. I think that Trump is literally, he is really unified. They never gave him a chance, Kev, the last 4 years. They
yeah,
never gave him a chance. They never like said,
because
do
he
what you
wasn't
want to do.
he wasn't a stiff.
He wasn't part
He
of their
wasn't
club. He wasn't part of their
a
club.
stiff. He wasn't a politician. So So but that's what you like about him. The guy can't
Right.
be compromised,
I know. I know.
right?
I agree.
That's what you got to respect. So many people can be,
They already
okay?
are. They already
They
are.
already are. You know, if you need somebody that you can't do it to, and there's power in that. He's got money, and they threw all that shit at him. He could have easily stepped down, right? Not
I mean,
ran.
Kev. Kev. You remember the first 4 years they said he was a Russian agent? Your
Yeah.
president. That's that's messed up, man. I don't hear any apology. Remember, I heard that every day for 4 years. I
hmm
was like, yo, you know what I mean? Every single day, based on a lie.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
They
what I
had
mean?
51 intelligence agents saying
Based on a lie, dude. It was all a lie. I mean, they could just do that. They didn't give him a chance to operate within his own government. This time, like
it.
you said,
Well,
Kev, it's different.
I'll tell you what. This time it's
Mm,
different. It's a second
very.
run, and he's putting
It was
people in
legit,
for the long
and
term.
his
JD
landslide.
Vance got a bright future, and
I do believe so. Yeah, he's
and I
he's going to
think
benefit. He's going to
yeah, he's
he's
gonna
going to
benefit.
benefit. He's going to benefit more than ever. I'm telling you, right? He's going to benefit a lot.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my estimate.
He's I think probably gonna be the future, and they got the right people around him. And yeah, I think you know he's gonna do good things. And think about this TikTok, right? I forgot what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I wanted to say a point on what would you say before that on him?
Before what?
What were you saying before that about him?
Oh, I was
Uh,
saying, with China. Remember, I was bringing up like he was trying to unify. I don't know. I was saying a lot of things. I was just, I mean, Kev, what pretty much what I was saying is that he they didn't let him do anything, right? I remember John McEntee. He was you know pretty much a MAGA loyalist. He took an order from Trump to the generals to come out of Syria. The generals wouldn't do it. Can you believe that shit? You know what I mean? Like, Kev, from 2016 to 2020, his own government worked against him, which is, that's wrong,
all
man. I
right,
mean, you
this is what
talk
I was
about
gonna say.
mm,
He's got the machine now, the media machine.
now, he does.
He's
Yeah, now
got
he
the
does.
controls, and that is a massive machine where you know he's got the keys, and I think that's going to be good for everyone,
Mhm.
and that's why people are getting on board. So you should get on board. Don't you know? You don't want to
I'm gonna
be
make a
on the outside.
I'm gonna make a quick prediction. Like you just gave me something, just gave me like a flash of genius, Kev. I called Donald Trump. What I saw today in inauguration was Barron, right? His son, dude. That guy's like 7 feet tall. He should play basketball, dude. His son is like 7 feet tall, Barron, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking talk,
Check
talk
out
about.
this drink, Propel
Yep,
Berry.
that's my favorite, dude. The
The
flavor
berry.
water.
You got to
Yeah,
go with the
I
berry.
know.
It's got
Yeah, that's my
electrolytes.
favorite. I know that's my favorite. Lime, all of that. I go for that. Listen, Barron
Yeah.
Trump. My prediction is that Barron Trump is going to get into politics in the next 10, 15 years. Watch.
Yeah, I
I think he
mean,
has a good eye on.
he's got
He
the
was right next to him.
pedigree.
He was,
Yeah, yeah,
he was
it's
right
right
next to him
next.
today. Yo, he's 7 feet tall, Kev. I mean, those
No, he's not
jeans, bro.
7 feet. He's not
All right,
seven
but
feet. He's 6'7".
all right, all right.
But
That's
yeah,
a lot.
tall, tall. Yeah, yeah, he's
6'7"
tall.
tall, bro.
That's good.
All right, he's not 7, but I'm exaggerating. But dude,
Yeah, yeah.
I
Now
saw
look,
that. He was
He's around the right
overpowering.
people.
Dude, he's looking down on his dad.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk about fucking great genes, right?
He's the big little brother.
Yeah, but I know,
But
but like you know how it works, Kev. Tall people command more power. That's just life, you
yeah,
know.
and
Yeah,
that's
you know what I
another
mean. That's
thing that's another thing that he gets. He gets business. He also gets people like to do business with other people that command attention,
right.
that are more attractive. There's nothing wrong with that. That's business, right? If you think about some of the people he puts in place, yeah, they criticize it. No, he understands business. He understands people. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, and this whole cancel culture that came out that tries to cancel people,
Try to
and it
cancel
will
him.
try to cancel him through everything at him, and it will
Everything.
switch. It's like the flavor
Impeachment.
of the. It's a flavor of the year or flavor of the every 2 or 3, 4 years. Now it's it's been sexualized. Before that, it was racism. It will constantly be something new.
But it's done
But
now. Kev, I think all that shit is done.
yeah,
Did,
yeah.
did you hear?
I
Did you hear?
he's
Did you
coming.
hear what he?
He's cleaning. He's cleaning a lot of the bullshit. So a lot of
No,
that
he
was
said.
was bullshit.
No, I mean, listen. This was a strong statement. Remember what he said today? He said, "There, I'm going to sign an executive order saying there's two genders and two genders only." I mean, that's a
Yeah.
signal that it's over,
There you go.
right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I mean,
the
you're right.
woke mind virus,
I
as
know
you
it
want to
is.
call it,
It's a new
where
mentality.
yeah,
I can't believe you said that though.
they
I mean, right?
basically brainwash people
Yeah,
into this woke mind virus, right?
and they get you
Um,
when you're like young. They get you when you're young.
yeah,
You
you're
know.
vulnerable,
Yeah.
you're young, they'll go after you, and you know, I think a lot of that bullshit just needs to be called out, and
He
and
called it out today.
he's someone that's gonna do it, and it
I
is
couldn't believe it. I
yeah,
couldn't believe he said that. He said two genders already.
and
And like I was like,
he wants to
mhm.
also drill,
Drill, baby,
he
drill.
said drill,
Drill,
baby,
baby, drill.
drill, right? That means drilling through
He
that
said liquid
rock,
gold.
finding
Yep.
oil. Yep.
He said liquid gold. You know,
Yeah.
so that's going to be big industry there. Kev, and
What
listen, I
about
remember.
this?
Mm,
The Gulf of America. You
no,
know,
you're talking about the Panama Canal.
that's another one. But he also renamed the Gulf of America,
I like that.
and instead of
I,
the
I like.
Gulf of Mexico,
I like
and
that.
he
He's
already,
just going to bully people. He's just going to bully
and
people.
no, it makes sense.
I
Rebrand.
love it,
Why
bro. I
name it
love
the
it,
Gulf
bro.
of Mexico? Why are we
I
giving Mexico any credit for anything? They bring in these
I love it.
criminals
I
that
love it.
disrupt our place.
Bro,
You
I
know,
love it, bro. I love it. I'm
uh,
for it.
yeah.
I love
Another
it.
one,
I love it.
He's renaming a mountain. You know, I seen a mountain, McKinley,
Yeah. I heard about
changing
that.
name.
Yeah. William
So
McKinley. Yeah. I heard about
listen,
that too.
he's a marketing genius, and he understands people. That's what you need in a leader. No,
Well,
during tough
well,
times, you need a strong leader.
listen. I'll tell you this, Kev. I read one of his books like back in the day, The Art of the Deal, when I was studying for the LSAT, right? The Art
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
Comeback. I read that, right? You know what Trump says? Like when he wrote the book. I mean, I don't know, but what I read, he's a big believer in natural abilities. He said, you either have the instinct or you don't, and if you don't, just get a good job and relax with your family. That's pretty much what he said. If you have that
Hmm.
instinct, then you get in the game. If you don't, just have
Yeah.
a just have a good job and relax. He's right about that.
For
You know,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Natural. He's a big believer in natural,
That
capabilities. So that's what he said. Kevin. So listen, let's just transition. Listen, this he uh he might have pulled off a real historic ceasefire deal in the Middle East, dude. Dude, if that shit holds weight, he might go down as one of the most consequential and important figures in the 21st
listen.
century. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
serious. If that,
Listen.
if the, yeah,
When all said
I
is done, when all is said and done after these 4 years,
but he only has
yeah,
4 years, right? Can you believe that though? It's only 4 years,
that's all
which is
you need.
crazy, right?
That's all you
That's all
need.
you need. That's what you think.
Because you're
Uh,
putting, listen, here's why. He's putting people in place for the future. When you got someone
okay.
like Elon Musk helping make decisions, come on, man. You got good business people making decisions and being excited about it. Vivek, guy's a smart guy, man. Right?
Yeah.
He makes
He,
your
he's
Indian
no longer
culture
part.
look good.
Yeah, but he's no longer part of Doge. He's out now.
What do you?
So
Since when?
he's out of Doge, Kev. He's no longer a part of it, man. What are you talking about? That happened yesterday. I was trying to tell you that. He's
Okay,
no longer
so
part of Doge.
okay. That's fine. He's getting moved,
There,
but
there, was- there was a
he's
rift.
still
No.
he's still
He's
part. He
running.
was still there today.
Yeah. I
So
know he was there at the
Doge is
inauguration.
probably going to be Elon then, right? Only.
It is only
Yeah.
Elon.
Well,
He's
that's
asked.
all you need.
Well, I
Elon
mean, like,
is a smart guy. You don't need two smart guys on the same thing. Maybe spread them out. That's fine.
yeah. Well, so Kev, if you look up there, so this is pretty much what happened. I mean, listen, Kev, it's not as rosy as that. I mean, there was a little bit of infighting. I mean, I guess you can't have too many chefs. But anyway, he's going to pursue another path as a Ohio state governor. pretty much. I think that's
Yeah,
his
that's
path
good.
now. Yeah, that's
I
pretty good
think
for him.
he'll still be involved. He'll still be involved. He was there today, and
And he's
listen,
there
the
for
bottom
inaugural.
line is you got good people around, and people are coming together for the first time. There's not one major company that you could name that wasn't there. Okay, that's a figure leader, impactful. Dana White, right?
Mm-hmm.
The McMahon family, his wife is in charge of education. You got powerful people. So it's going to be good. Let's wrap it up.
Got
We
it, got it.
got, but I
Listen,
agree with you. I think you're right. I think
listen,
it could be
listen, man,
very
Kev.
telltale.
Listen, Kev. My whole thing is, bro. Remember, we lived through the Iraq wars, right? The waste of money and everything, right? My whole thing is that no new wars, right? I find it wasteful, right? Listen, it seems that Trump, like you said, he might actually be the peacetime president. He's remember what he said, and
Peace
what
through
he did,
strength.
right? And if he pulls
That's what
this
he
off,
believes
bro,
in.
if he pulls this off, man, he has my, you know, he should get a fucking face on a mountain.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
listen,
Like
listen.
literally, just give him the fucking face, dude. Just give it to
Yeah.
him, get it over
Look,
with.
he
No
understands
wars.
that's not good for business. Sometimes you go through stuff, you
Yeah,
go
but
through
we never had.
periods of turmoil.
I know, but we never had a president that didn't understand that. Not in our lifetime. Every president we had, Kev, started wars. Clinton,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you got it at where was it? It was Bosnia. All right, you had the first Desert Storm, right? Then you had Bush, Iraq again. Then you got Obama, Syria. Let's not forget about that, bro. You know what I mean? You got presidents starting wars behind their back, bro. Just fucking up. He
I
might
don't
be.
think I don't know if it's necessarily them. It's not them
It's not
starting it,
them,
but they
but
enter. They enter.
yeah,
So
okay. But
he's
come
trying to
on, man.
prevent. Yeah, he's
That's
trying
what
to
I'm
bring
saying,
people
bro.
together, unite.
Right.
And if you could avoid conflict, that's the best thing, right? Um, we have the most
Whether they,
powerful, you know, army, the most
bro,
powerful military, and
in the middle
sometimes
of
you don't
two
need to
oceans,
do anything.
bro, in the middle of two oceans, Kev, nobody's
Yeah,
gonna invade us. Like, think about it. Like, nobody's gonna invade us if you really think about it logically. But I'm saying, Kev, if he really, which I think he might because of the ceasefire deal, which is very historic, he might go. He should get a Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, how do you give a Nobel Peace Prize to a president that took us into Syria and let Obama? You got Nobel. You know what I mean? It's like,
but
man,
listen, yeah, yeah,
mm,
I think you're right. I think if he continues, I think he's going to do a lot of good, bring people together. There's always going to be conflict in the world, but if you could negotiate well and limit that, he's very good at that. So we'll see. But
he
man,
never started.
good
He
talk.
never started any wars. He never started any wars in the first term. Last thing, Kev, what do you think about the markets? I'm very curious.
The markets are excited for the next three
Yeah,
to six
really?
months. They're
Okay,
going
all right,
to do very
all right,
well
okay,
just
okay,
based
okay, got
on having a new administration that understands business, that
all right,
understands less regulation, and the market and the economy. They're not always attached.
okay,
Going to do well for the next 3 to 6 months, just
okay,
based on like I said, the excitement coming from the
from
new
what from
administration and
so
bringing
so
people
so
together.
so would you think like for me like just some like BS buying S&P index options, call options, right? Just
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
we'll
right?
talk. We'll talk about it off
No,
this, but
I'm just I'm just curious. So you're saying that the market is going to be on good. We're not going to see next 3 to 6 months like you said. Because when Biden took office, remember the market went down quickly. Remember, it just went down because it was during COVID. So you're saying
yeah.
three to
So
six months? Okay,
listen. Something important to take into account.
yeah,
Every period is different. Every
okay,
president
all
that
right,
comes in inherits a different environment, a different economy, and a different cycle.
okay, I lost you.
So Biden came in a period, we were in a completely different cycle than we are now. Where we are now, we've had a good time, right? And we're entering a different period.